Hey guys, Artem here with Android Police, and we're taking a look at the Samsung Note 2, Galaxy Note 2, the international version, and all the cool new features. Let's take a look.
So here's some of the cool new things that you can do. For one thing, the Galaxy Note 2 now knows when you have withdrawn the S Pen from its little silo, and you get this contextual menu that pops up that lets you use S Pen related features. You can completely customize the templates and the features that pop up, and it's a special part of the menu system down here below. You'll also notice, maybe you can see on the screen here, there's a tiny little dot that follows my S Pen even though I'm not touching the screen. This is our new Air View feature. This lets the Galaxy Note 2 recognize when the pen is hovering. So for instance, here I'm looking at our video player, and just by hovering over one of the videos, I can get it to start playing. I can see a video of a preview of the video pops up. And then you'll see you get some really cool features here. For instance, with the video timeline feature, I can now hover over the video timeline, and you can see you get a preview of the video as you hover over the timeline. You can tap and jump directly in. So if I say, okay, I really want to see a rainbow right now, I can tap on it. I missed it. Oh, there it is. There's my rainbow.
Now, is that part of the stylus, or just because the SDK was updated and it's using the new software?
It's a little bit of both. So the original Galaxy Note did have hover capabilities, but it only worked to about 4 millimeters or so. As you can see here, if you want to see the distance that I'm using, this is about 10 to 12 millimeters before it will stop recognizing the hover. So the actual Wacom technology in the screen allows for a little bit more hovering, and we've updated the SDK, so now any developer can use this hover Air View capability in their apps.
Okay, and that also applies to the Galaxy Note, the original one?
I don't believe so. I don't think that the SDK will still allow for some hover, but you're not going to see improved hover capabilities in the original Galaxy Note because it still has the same limitations on how far it will recognize hovering.
Sure.
So we've always had pop-up play on the Galaxy S3. This is sort of a popular feature. Now, of course, you can actually resize pop-up play. So if you're in, for instance, a landscape window, you could resize pop-up play so it's pretty much full screen, and then shrink it down again.
And you can pause it now,
You can pause it, you can stop it and close directly from that pop-up play window. Some other cool features. So here's our new gallery app. We've done a lot of cool improvements to the gallery. For instance, if I hover over a photo album, I can now see a preview of that album appear. If I tap on an album, I can now hover over a picture to see a larger preview of the photo. We have a very cool new ability to create photo albums, so I'm going to create a new album. I'm just going to tap on some photos that I want for this album. Let's tap on a whole bunch here. And now you'll see if I hold and drag, I can actually drag those photos directly to the album I like. And it's a very cool interface
nice eye
for that.
candy there, definitely.
And then once I've created that album, it asks if I want to move or if I want to copy. And it's a very slick interface. But of course, the icing on the cake for the gallery is this new timeline feature.
Star Wars, very Star Wars-like.
And very fast and responsive. You can see it loads those photo previews very quickly. You can scroll through them in a hurry. And then there's our spiral feature, which is really just very slick, very smooth, and very responsive.
Cool.
And it's even rendering the photos in the background backwards, so it really looks like it's got a nice rotation to it.
Oh, I see. Now the camera got reworked a little bit too, right?
Right, it's an 8 megapixel camera. So it's got the same resolution as the Galaxy S3. We did sort of add a few new features. So for one thing, the camera now includes burst mode built right in. So if you hold down the shutter button, you'll see it'll start. Oops. I think I'm on single shot mode right now. There we go. Let's turn burst mode on. So burst mode is built right in, and is on by default. and you can see it'll shoot up to 20 shots at 6 frames per second. It also has some cool new features. This best group pose is one of my absolute favorite features. Sort of tough to explain when you're not going to see it, but it basically lets you pick the best faces for your group photo. It takes a few group photos and lets you pick which expression you like and add them to your subjects. I don't have one here that I can show you, but
the end result is you end up with one picture.
So for instance, here's a group photo shot that we took, and I could choose to swap out these faces with the best looking versions here. I'll rely on the reviewers to do a better job explaining that than I did.
Now, can you do best photo in the burst shot mode now?
No, the burst shot is just for regular or single shots. If you'd like to do, for instance, the best group pose, or if you want to do an HDR shot, something like that, if you want to do a beauty shot, which kind of polishes up skin blemishes, that sort of thing, that would be a completely different shooting mode, but we've got a ton of shooting modes here still available.
All right, so can you talk a little bit about the hardware and the physical dimensions and how you guys achieved what you achieved with the Note 2?
Sure. So the Galaxy Note 2 uses a slightly larger screen as the original Galaxy Note. This is now 5.5 inches diagonal as opposed to a 5.3 inch diagonal screen from before. It's now a 16 by 9 aspect ratio. It used to be 16 by 10, so that let us make it slightly more narrow. It also made it a slightly thinner device. We've made this a slightly thinner device. Keeps the same weight. It keeps the same screen resilience. We have a slightly larger battery inside. We've upped the battery to 3,100 milliamp hours as opposed to 2,500 on the previous device. So actually that's a significant gain. It's about 25% or more gain in battery power. It's a slightly taller device now, but that's really still very comfortable to hold in your hand. We think this is a much more grippable and pocketable device, even than the original Galaxy Note. Inside, it's got a 1.6 gigahertz quad-core processor. It's got 2 gigabytes of RAM. It's using LTE for the fastest networking available. It's got the S Pen, which slots right here into the bottom. And of course, the phone can recognize when the S Pen is present. And if you take the S Pen out and you walk away from it, you see I get a message up here saying the pen has been detached. If I walk away from it, the phone will know and it will give me an alert on screen saying, hey, I don't feel the pen anymore. Maybe you should go back and look for it.